Hi there, this is Kathy Crow. Thank you so much for joining me here. I am in Springfield, Missouri. You're probably not. It's cold. I woke up to 15-degree weather, which was an improvement. The snow is almost all gone. I'm so happy about that, but more is coming. So one good thing about it is that you get to craft more when it's really lousy weather outside. And my phone won't stay put. I didn't really want you to see my fridge necessarily, but you are. I'm down in the basement now, which is really nice. Last week I showed you out my nice big window that I'm looking at right now. Jeff, when he fills the feeder, it's so nice that he does this. He puts seed by the house. I've asked him not to do that once because I know that attracts mice and I don't want mice anywhere near the house, so I've asked him not to do that. However, like many things, I'm sure that request fell on deaf ears. He didn't even hear me. So it is nice to see the little birds right by my window. I mean, he does this because probably the sack spills when he's filling the feeders. I'm sure that's why that happened. And then he's like, oh, good, I'll just pour a whole bunch of more. And last time he filled the feeders, I decided I'm going to go out and sweep that up, and I guess I'll just be doing that every time until I decide to fill the feeders again myself. It's been nice for him to do it. I haven't had the energy to do it, but I have enjoyed looking at the birds. So anyhow, enough whining. We are going to do Filled with Fun today because this is a matching wagon to the fun little Filled with Cheer. This is such a cute set. I'm done with it now. It was Christmas, so I'm done with this now. But the wagon is different. If you have the other one and you want to do a slightly different wagon, it's kind of nice to have a wood-sided wagon. I do kind of like that. I probably will use that wagon, but I won't be using any of the other things. But if you have the wood wagon, then now you need this set because you've got the little metal handle and you've got the rubber tires, although the other tires are kind of nice too, so I don't know, it just depends on your mood. But mainly what I want to show you today is how I did the background for this card, because this is the card that I wanted to show you. It turned out really cute. This is not a new technique. It's all over the place. But I have never been able to get my little birch trees to look as white and nice, like if you went out and scrubbed them, and you know people do. Till I'd read a lot of garden magazines, I did not know that, but they do. To get them nice and white, they go out and they wash them. It is celebration time. Now this is a mini catalog. It's a new one. You guys were able to start ordering from it, I don't know, I think just a couple of days ago. And there are many really cute things in it, but the thing about celebration is every time you order $60 worth of product, you get some free things. So I have said that. Now we are going to get started because I don't want to be here all day, and I'm sure you don't either. And it always, I forgot to put my, okay, I'm going to have to stop here a second. I'm not going to actually stop, but I have to kind of walk myself around the room. And right now I'm around a really large table, and so I can walk myself around the room easily and you can still see what I'm doing. However, my phone, for some reason, it is just not wanting to cooperate with me, and I need to get my little laptop open. You can see all my stuff. It has been nice to be able to have all my stuff a little more visible. So getting to be down in this space, last week Jeff said, I'm surrounded by craft supplies, because he is. While I was up in my happy little space in my office with this big, beautiful, sunny window, which was so sunny it was bleaching out all my papers and ribbons. But while that was out, it was nice. The problem was that I couldn't see a lot of the things that I had because, frankly, it was just all over the place. So there was just no way I could actually see it. So, perfect. Now here I am And you can see our version of TV is my projector behind me, and we project it up on that big wall, and it's quite nice. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to see comments. I haven't been able to. I don't know for how long, like forever. And so I apologize if I don't see your comments. I would like to respond and would if I could see them. But since I guess I just don't know how to work Facebook anymore. So I've kind of lost track of that, and I'm not too concerned about it. Now, you can always find me in all kinds of ways. So when I put the camera down, I will go over those really quick with you. And this, again, since it is celebration, this is a joining time. This is a good time to join. If you want to buy a bunch of stuff and you don't want to spend thousands of dollars to do it, then this is a good time of the year to buy a starter kit, and then you can have most of the things you probably really want, and you do not have to spend like a fortune for it. So anyway, that's just a perhaps you'd like to idea. Now let me get my stamps up here, adjust my light. Let's see if we can get everything in. I'm kind of crooked here, but that's okay. We're gonna manage. My space is pretty good, actually. I think that's looking good. Let me get my glasses. I have to get my glasses to see over on the side whether we are in good shape or not. We're in good shape. Okay, so. Oh, good. We're in really good shape. Okay, perfect. Now, here's my website here. You can always find me on that. You can find my newest video on there. I have not been keeping it up because I just couldn't do it anymore. So the video is kept up. I am trying to keep up with some of the other things, but I'm not always able to, and so I apologize for that, but I'm doing the best I can. The Square Store is for gift certificates for Stampin' Up! Items, mostly now, because I'm just really not even doing classes. Newsletter is here. If you don't get it, you might like to have it. It just gives you an idea every week. This idea for this week is how to get your nice birch trees embossed. Now, this is an old woodland folder. This is like several years ago. And it's one of my favorites. I don't understand why Stampin' Up! Did it upside down, but they did. Maybe it was mine. Maybe the branches are supposed to go downward, but they don't. You know, branches never go downward, they go upward. So, yeah, I don't know why mine is upside down. It is, I could have probably gotten a new one and I didn't care. It was fine. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and emboss that first. So I'm going to take a piece of Pool Party and we're going to cut that to a small, a 5.5 by 4.25 piece, which will be a workable piece. It's going to be a little bigger than the end result. But anyhow, that's what we're gonna have. Oh, let's try to come down a bit since I can. Maybe I can put my light back where I wanted it. Oh boy, my lighting situation could be improved. I know. All right, there we go. Oh, good. Joy, joy. That is much better, I think. We will see. So taking my cutting board, did you know that on the website right now, this is not always the case, but right now it is, you can buy, one of my team, Freddie told me, you can buy this piece, just this cutting piece, not the blades, just this plastic piece that pops out, you know, all the time when I'm doing stuff. You can buy it, but it's only in metric measurements. I don't know why, but it is. Not metric. Yeah, metric. They're not imperial. Ours are imperial. Metric is European. So I cut that in half, and now I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4, and then we'll be ready to use this piece. So you can buy it, but then you'll have to remark it if you're an American. So North American, that is. And so I'm so sorry, but that's the life. That's what we get. All right, so now we're going to take the machine and emboss this. Now, embossing is, I think, one of the cheapest and most satisfying ways to make cards. Because there are many methods of embossing and many methods. Now just find the part of the trees you want, because I want like the tops of the trees to be showing. I do want them to be straight, so I'm going to align my cardstock with this line to make sure my trees are relatively straight. And then we're going to just emboss that, and then after that, let me grab my embossing materials here. Now you need a special plate to do this. And this just goes on here. Different embossing folders have different thicknesses, and it doesn't matter whether it's labeled 3D or not. Some are thicker than others. The 3D ones are going to definitely be thick. Now I took that out because that was too thin. Until you've slid it in, you really don't know what you've got. So I'm going to get my basic magnetic plate back out again because it's thicker, and put that on it, and this blue plate. Now I don't know if our blue embossing plates are blue anymore. They might not be. I just happen to know that when I bought mine, it was blue. So if I get the blue plate out, I know it will work with something. Now some of the super fat 3D ones, actually, I have to work at the sandwich and try to figure out what I'm doing, because some of those are a little bit harder to manage than others because they're just so thin. But I never complain about it. No, you know me. I would never complain, ever. You would never complain either, would you? Because, I mean, it's seriously nice to be able to do this. Now, look at that. All on its own, it's so pretty, so cute. I had to search so long for this folder, because in moving down here, of course, I had to reconfigure everything. Everything is all ordered differently. I love doing that. That's one of the, I like to organize. Take your embossing buddy, because I forgot to do this. Now, if you don't want, if you want little snowflakes blowing around, like I was doing a winter scene, so the fact that I have little dots of white, I actually liked it. It looked good because I was getting a little snow blown effect. And here in Missouri, we get that effect a lot when it snows. So I didn't mind that, but I don't want it on this one. Now what I want to do, because I could chalk this and I could take my white ink and ink it, and I did do all of that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I took my white pad and I did this, just barely, to get the tops of those tree trunks. It didn't really work. It worked a little, but it was still super blue, which I did not want. So we're going to use the embossing powder. So we're going to go ahead and give this a go. I probably should use my white to get it a little better. I'm going to have to, because I'm a little scared about just doing it. The problem is I don't really want white on my Versamark. I don't really want white ink on there. So I'm going to take these two pieces and save one in case I need to use another one. These are just my scraps. It's a nice slick paper. It's nice to pour your embossing powder back into your container when you're all done. Oh, let me plug in my gun, because I forgot I had to unplug it earlier. So there, now it's plugged in, so that's ready. All right, so now we're going to go for it. Now the point about this is you're going to need to act somewhat fast, because this ink will dry after a bit. So you can't go too slow, but you have to be fairly careful, because you just want to get the trunks. I'm going to get my glasses off, and I'm getting my head down here, because I need to just push straight down. And if you want to get your like a Stamparatus, your old Stamparatus out, that wouldn't be bad. Now you could take the edge also and kind of go on the trunk. I want a pretty thick layer of ink laid on these trunks, but I don't want it on the sky. That's behind the trunks, obviously, but I want a good layer. Since I'm not using that white, you know, my white marker pad, ink pad is the word. I don't have to be quite as careful here. And you can really see whether you're inking this up or not. And I can see that I'm really over inking. I can see that really well. Here, there is another way to do this, but not when you're doing the part that's raised. You know, you can ink your folder and run it through, but all it will do is ink the part that's going down into, not up, out of. So I want these trunks to be popping up. And that's how they're gonna be on the card. They're popping up, but that means I could not just ink my folder, because you will see lots of techniques that are beautiful for deboss. That would be the deboss side of it. Okay, so I've got enough of this on here. Now we're gonna put on the powder, and then I'm gonna be brushing stuff off. Okay. Okay, please don't dry and please don't run out. I know I'm using a bunch, but it's okay. Most of it's gonna go right back in to this container. I should have gotten a bigger piece of paper. All right. Now I'm being careful because I'm trying to get it to slide down so it'll stay on a lot. And you're gonna laugh when you see this, because you're gonna see how much I'm gonna end up brushing off. But for now, because we don't want the whole thing to look white, which it kind of does right now, but that's okay. I can deal with this. Let's just push this in here. See how much you get back out? I mean, I didn't use very much at all. This is why I love this. All right, try not to touch the trunks as you're messing around. Now I've got a few brushes handy. I'm gonna get a pretty stiff one for starters, because what I need to do is I need to brush this off of the sky. And so I don't need to be too terribly careful until I get right to a branch or to the edge there. Okay, so you can actually brush away a lot of stuff. The thing is you don't want to have to do nearly as much as I'm doing. If I had used my white craft marker and just white it out, you can even get a Sharpie, a white Sharpie. It's a ink, and you can go over the trunks with that, and it'll start the process. But for these trunks to actually be white enough to look good, that's only gonna be a start. I was I thought I was gonna be able to do the whole thing because I had just purchased, okay, we better go this direction now. Otherwise I'm gonna just be knocking it all back onto the areas I've already cleared. Let's see if you can see what I'm seeing here. I hope you can. It's kind of dark right there, isn't it? You know, those painty pens, they are great for metallics, but Pool Party's a very light color. So when I did white on it with those new ones that I bought that I thought were gonna be so white and nice, because my old chalk marker was pretty good. But my old chalk marker is old, and so it wasn't really quite doing it. And I have white paints, but it's like, well, I know I could paint these, but I don't really want to paint them. I just want to color them. Painting is a lot more problematic. Oops, what did I drop? Oh, it was my Versamark. Let's get that over there. Yeah, anyway, so I did color these white, and I was so disgusted with how much blue pool party I could see on the trunks themselves. You do have to be careful about all these little individual branches. Now, anything that you want to have as a, have a solid background underneath with white, you could do this. One of the reasons we keep buying a whole bunch of dies and embossing folders is because Stampin' Up! Has been coming out with more embossing folders that have die cuts with them that cut out these things. And there is our little Forest Grove. It's called In the Grove stamp set. It's tiny, so it's not nearly as big as this. But actually about, the size I'm going to end up using here is pretty close to what that In the Grove die and branches are. In fact, I've got a project started because I was thinking about it and wondered what else I could do instead of this. Now with those, you just die cut it out of white, and voila, it's white. And then you can layer it also on your card with dimensionals and have an even more of a 3D effect. Oops, I just ruined that branch. Oh, and again, so you'll get to see me correct that later with my inky pen, and then you'll get to see what I'm talking about here. Okay, now this is going to be a nice snow scene because I'm not going to get all of this off. I'm trying. Now let me get another brush. That's my other brush here. Now we're going to go down. Try to get every little bit off. The powder, once you've over powdered, is pretty hard to get every bit of it off without taking too much away from the areas you want to keep it. But you can try. But I am going to end up with little stray snowflakes all over. Because I cannot sit here doing this all day. This could take a very long time if I wanted to do it all. And I could do that. Now what you want to do is you want to brush to where the next layer of stuff is so that this powder sort of rests into the new section that's not been brushed yet. Okay, so I'm gonna work on that. Right now my brush is kind of getting loaded down slightly because there still is that Versamark, I don't know if you can see that. Where's my camera lens? Where are you? Oh, there you are. So it's kind of getting loaded down there just because that Versamark is sort of sticking on that brush, branch as well. All right, the cold weather is not dimmed me too much, but I don't get outside much. Every day when we go and work out, normally I take a little walk around the workout center. It's very pretty. They have nice grass and lawns, and right now they have a lot of trees, pretty good amount of trees. I guess I can't really say a lot, but a pretty good amount. They're decorative. They're nice trees. And I enjoy looking at that. Of course, anywhere there's trees, there's always birds, and I love listening to them sing. So normally I do that every time I'm done with a workout. It's like it helps cool me down from being kind of hot and sweaty, and I just like to be out in nature. I'd be outside all day if I could. And it's too cold. Every time I come outside to the parking lot, and once I step out the doors, it's like, well, it's not too horrible because I'm all heated up still. And then by the time I'm down the walk, nearing my car, I'm thinking, are you kidding me? If you try to walk around this, you'll be freezing before you even get halfway. The last couple of times I've done it, I abandoned it earlier than norm and cut across the grass to get to the car because that was pretty cold. There's some people who are the people who keep, there's a nice little gazebo with the bathrooms, and I do believe the The lawn guy's equipment is probably in a part of the building there where the workout center is. It's all part of the park's system. And they're always having a coffee break right then when I come out. And I can see the cup of something delicious steaming in their hands as they sit there or stand. They've been standing now because it's so cold, I'm sure. They're not even sitting. Normally they would sit at the park bench there and have their break. But it's cold. All right, this is as good as it's going to get. Now, so you can see that's pretty white, but yes, it's gonna look a little frosty here and there with these stray white pieces. Now, it is possible, I have done it, where you can do it and not get a lot of ink. You're gonna get some in these areas, but if you don't get as much as I just did, it's much easier to manage. Okay, now I did get some more powder, so I'm gonna put that in there. And now that, I'm not even gonna mess with this bit on the desktop here too much, because sometimes this is hard to get from my hand into the thing. I'm gonna just toss that away, because there's just like powder all over it now. And it's very, oh, what's this? This must have been on my brush. Okay, let's try that again. Now I need a big brush, like a broom here, a little mini whisk broom. Wouldn't that be nice? I know they sell those, and that's what I need, because that's pretty messy. Okay, perfect. Now, to wash that away, you do need to wash it, because that powder is gonna just stick there. Now, one of the great things about being downstairs here is I've got the sink like right there. And I love that. That has been so nice. I can get everything all cleaned up really quick and easy. I don't even have to bring water into my little craft space because I've got it right there. Perfect. I like to keep things neat and clean, and I'm a little bit more successful at it now. Isn't that nice? I hope you guys had a good Christmas. It's so awful about all of the fires in California. It's bad to have the cold, and I'm glad we don't have snow, because it could be worse. A lot of our state is getting snow. A lot of other states are getting snow too, I bet. So I'm very glad not to have that, but oh man, I feel for those people in the fires, and I wish they would make better voting decisions in the future, and then that will help them. All right, so for those of us who don't vote that way, it's a sad thing, because our families who live there suffer too. Even though we didn't vote for it. All right, now I'm going to put this on a board, because I'm kind of doing the whole piece. If you're only embossing a tiny space, you probably don't have to do this. Just make sure you clip away from areas that are going to get embossed. Don't touch that clip either. It's going to get super hot. Okay, so here we go. We'll see how it turns out. Now this is going to take a little bit, just because this is a very large area that I'm embossing. One thing about clipping like this is that I'm only able to emboss from the top down. And when you're doing it, when you're holding it, you can actually, you know, emboss the bottom some too as you're going. You just emboss, it kind of heats up that paper a little fast, heats the powder up, melts it a little faster. It's going pretty fast actually. A little better than I thought it might. Seemed like when I was doing it before, it took a while. I was probably just in a big rush. I just did a spiritual evaluation thing with our church. Our church is doing a very special series with our small groups, our life groups, right now. And so that was nice. When I got home from our vacation, I opened it and looked at it, but I didn't do it. And, oh, some seeds that Jeff lost over here by they sure go rattling all over the place. All right, now make sure that's not hot. Don't touch it until you're sure. And while it's warm, you might be able to scrape a little bit off if there's some. It actually came out much better than I thought it might. That's not too bad. Now it is going to be a little wrinkly because I could only just do it from the top down. When you can emboss from the bottom as well as the top, it can keep your cardstock a bit straighter. But that looks pretty good, doesn't it? I'm very happy with that. There's this spot here that I might just cut off mostly. So I'm not going to even bother with it. Look at those little birds. They're so cute. Okay. Now this piece is done, but I need it to trim it down because I'm going to put it on this piece. And on this one, I have a black background, but I want to do a springy card. This is going to be a spring card. I do need to color the lines for my little bark because, of course, as you can see, it's not. And I'm going to just take a piece. This is gray granite. I need like the super duper thin. This is the super duper thin. This is not our current thin marker, you know, the pointy tip. This is a, there we go. This one is the old one. Now, if it's not going to mark well enough, because sometimes some of these are pretty dried up. That one's not marking well enough. And the problem with this end is that, no, that is not working. And on the embossed part, it won't work either. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to grab a pencil. Let me try that. I can try a gel pen as well. So let me grab a gel pen that's black, if I can find one. There's one. And, oh, I know, I bet you I have, oh, I do. I have a Sharpie as well. Now for the, if you wanted though any of these to be white that weren't white, you can always take your gel pen that's a white one and you can color that in. And the gel pen actually will work pretty good. If there are little spots of, you know, spots of your, that's where part of my finger I think went. I'm gonna cut those off so I'm not too worried about it. Where the branches are, sometimes that gets flubbed up a little bit, you know, with the paintbrush, trying to brush things. So anyway, that is as effective as anything. Let me try my gel pen. Let's see. You are working. Let's try you. Oh yeah. Gel pen, that's gonna work great. The trouble with my marker is that it could get a little too carried away. I just want all of these little things. I've got a black one because I didn't want to hunt, but brown or a gray would actually be better. But this is going to work for now. And it is a little time consuming, but it does make a huge difference, doesn't it? Very nice. All of these little divots. So we had a neighbor who had a birch tree when we first moved into our first house. It was a very sick tree. The people who lived in the house had not planted it. It was at the end of the driveway where water couldn't get enough of it ever to. And it was a dry desert environment anyway, where birch trees just generally don't live. I love that birch tree, but it looks so sick every year. And then it died not long. I didn't know to water it. If we'd been pouring water on it like I would have if I had known things about plants when we first moved into that house, it probably would have lived, but it was in their yard, so they are the ones that should have been watering it. And they would have been like us, young, not really caring that much and not having time to care because we were raising our kids. They were little. And but it was a very beautiful tree at first, and I loved it. And the leaves are so pretty because they're little, they turn yellow, they're small, easy to rake, and you don't really even have to. Especially for the Tri-Cities where we lived, is the leaves would just blow away. They would not stay, and I don't know who would end up with them, but that was kind of the way it was. You lost some and you got some from your neighbors. Now, where it's very, very powdery, I'm not having a lot of luck getting this ink down, but mostly I am. And this might seem a little time-consuming to you, but I find it relaxing. So that's why I don't mind doing it. It's an accomplishment. All right. So anyhow, it died, and eventually they cut it down. And then that spot, pretty sure that was not in our yard. It seems like that maybe was in our yard. Maybe that was our tree, and we were the ones that didn't water it. I think we were. I don't remember. Now maybe I'm thinking it was in their yard, but a lot of the roots were down in our part, and where their side of the roots would have been under their driveway, under the cement. So they would have assumed that we should be watering it, I guess. And I did water. There was grass there, so it stayed alive enough to have grass, but not enough for a birch tree. And then later I learned, yeah, the Tri-Cities, now you don't grow birch trees there. And here in Missouri, where there's tons of water, even here they struggle at times. I don't know why. They shouldn't. Maybe if they were right by a river. Those little birds outside my window are so happy for all that seed that Jeff laid down, because they're right there. They're so cute. So I can't be too annoyed about it. And I'm just hoping that no mice discover that there's a treasure trove of seed right by our house. Okay, so I want the branches to go up. So that's how I'm positioning this card. And then I'm going to trim it to 4 inches so I get a nice little mat around the edge. And I'm going to trim the top off, I guess, because I'm not as happy about the top. So this is 4 1/4, and I'm going to trim off 1/4, so we end up with 4 inches that way. And I kind of like the blue here, but this is white on this side, so I think we're going to go ahead and just trim that blue away, that pool party, and then we have a nice balanced view. And this is approximately 4 1/4. It's a little long. Maybe I'll just trim a tiny, tiny, tiny bit off this side. So we end up with 4 1/4 by 4. And then after I get some other things done, I'm going to decide what kind of a mat I want under it. Now this is going to be lumpy, so make sure you use our Tombow. It's nice strong glue to mount this, because otherwise you're going to have problems. There's still powder. There's always powder for a while. Just got to keep wiping it away till it's all gone. All right, now we will stamp the little wagon. Now the little trees that I did, this was from our Christmas ephemera, I don't know how to say the word, ephemera. I don't know. Anyway, it was a Christmas pack. Had lots of little stickers and all kinds of things, and so I just used their trees for these 2 trees. That's what that is. And sending loads of Christmas cheer, I don't even know where that's. I assume it came from the stamp set we're using here. We'll find out in a second when I grab it. All right, so not that one. Yes, it is. Sending loads of Christmas cheer. It's with this one. So I think I am going to use the little wood wagon. I do kind of like it. It's cute. And, oh, why don't I have white cardstock here handy? I thought I did, but I don't. So let me grab a piece. And we will stamp our little wagon. We went to our family in Boise, Idaho, over right before Christmas. We went, oops, I just lost. That's my chair kind of scraping along here. Trying to find, I thought I had, here you are. This is the one I want. We went for Christmas fun, even though it was, you know, before Christmas, way before Christmas, but that's just kind of, I didn't want to spend, the airlines charge so much at Christmas time. I know they're trying to make up for all the times they have lost money on things, but that, again, it's like, well, that's not my fault, and I can't afford that, so we're going to come before Christmas, sorry. And I'm glad we did, because the weather here always starts to turn a little bit right around Christmas. Sometimes it's nice, but it's getting at the end of the month. By the time you get to this January, you know, you're likely to have snow and very cold weather, and the snow is not one thing. That's not so bad, but it's the possibility of a power outage and no heat and pipes freezing and things like that. Let's do the wheel. We'll do these little wheels. We only need 2. Okay, because I oftentimes try to do 4 and then realize, oh, I'm not making a box. You can make really cute little boxes with these if you do 4 wheels and 2 sides. You'll have to make the other sides because we don't have that, but it's not hard to do. And anyway, all right. So I think that's all I need from this set. And then we will get, let's get out the, let me put my pen away. There. I am going to use the handle on this one, and we're going to do flowers. Oh, I've got the wood sides cut out. I love this set because it has these wood sides. They look really good. I'd forgotten about that. You've got a nice balloon, and if you're just starting with stamping, a balloon is really nice too. A balloon with strings is a nice piece to have. Okay, so there's our handle. There is a heart, and Valentine's is coming up, but I'm not going to do Valentine's. I don't want to do Valentine anything, but I could. You could take your this would be cute. Take your cake off, just cut it off. Stamp this, cut your cake off, and put your packages, and you could do a little Valentine's. You can put your little heart. That would be so cute. But I want mine to be springy. It's not going to be Valentine's. I want this to be spring. I am not ready for spring, but this is the time of year I like to think about spring. It's coming. It is coming. Now these flowers, let's see, they look pretty large, like they're going to really be overflowing the wagon. We'll find out. Do I have a die for you? Yes, we do. Okay. I haven't ever stamped these out yet, so this is the first time I've done the flowers. Oops, I missed one. That's okay. I'm going to do it anyway. You're cute. I like these little flowers. They look like little dahlias. Those little single dahlias, they're so pretty. They come in all different colors. You can even start those from seed yourself. We're going to do You Make My Heart Bloom. How sweet is that? Oh, yeah. You Make My Heart Bloom. Let's stamp that, and let's figure out what color we're going to be using. Okay. Not black. You, where are you? You, there you are, right there. And then we'll have that already stamped and ready to cut out as well. Okay, what colors? What colors? If I'm gonna do, I always like pink. Pink is a good one. Yellow is really nice. Let's do yellow. Yellow. And if we're gonna do yellow, I'm gonna wanna use green. So I'm going to get garden green out for this, but I'm going to want the word bloom. Oh, heart is the one that's kind of a different, my heart is in a different font. So I'm going to want that to be a different color. So let's take our little tape, some washi tape, if I can find it. Where did you go? Here you are. Washi tape. We're going to take some washi tape and we're going to cover up the words "My Heart" here. Okay, we're going to cover that up. Let's raise you up so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to cover that, and then we're going to go ahead and stamp this with green. So now take off the tape you just laid all over there. Okay. Okay, and then I can do the reverse for the "My Heart" part. The "My Heart" part. Our grandkids are getting bigger and they're coming up with their own jokes now. So I'm going to have to start asking them for good joke material. Because they probably know some. All right, now pink. I guess I'm gonna go ahead with pink. I was thinking, because yellow I won't see that enough. I could do orange. Let's do orange just to make sure that I can still do yellow if I want to. I don't know if I want to, but we'll do pumpkin pie for the "My Heart" part. Now I'm gonna just stamp that, and then for this time, because it's right in the middle and easy to do, I'm going to just wipe away the ink that I don't need here rather than bother with the tape. And because it's a photopolymer stamp, I can even see right where I want to place that. Oh, you're so cute. I love doing that. I don't often take this time to do that step, but it does make a big difference with your sentiments when you do this. A balloon? I don't think so. How about the heart, though? Just in case I want the heart, we're going to go ahead and just do a couple, just to be sure that I have them on hand in case I want to use them. So we'll do 5. Just to be sure I'm covered. And that is that. So cute. All right, and I don't need any of those other things. All right, now for the wagon. We do need to color the wagon. So this will be pretty quick. We grab a 300, 400. We have bronze. Yes, we have bronze and we have ivory. I might end up just using bronze and ivory. Let's try bronze. Yeah, this will work just fine. So I'm just gonna kind of put some lines in here, just so it's not a solid brown. We're gonna go ahead with gray there. Let's do brown for the spokes. I think I might do the hub of the wheels with something else. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just use this brown, and we'll cover the little highlighted part with ivory or bronze. This is ivory. Let's see. Oh yeah, you're gonna work just fine. So we're just gonna lay that all down. This is smelling like I've added quite a bit of alcohol, so it's pretty thinned out, which is good. It's kind of spreading that out about the way I want it to. But this pen may be dead soon. And then let's use some smoky slate. We could use crumb cake. Let me grab crumb cake because I'm seeing it right off. And I do see another ivory that I might look at and see how that compares to what I've already placed. And where are you, Smoky Slate? I don't see you. Smoky Slate. Oh, come on. You're like my main gray. There we go. Okay. Smoky Slate is what I want to see first. This is the light one. And yeah, that will work just fine because I want these little braces to be gray as though they're metal. And then the bottom of the wagon can be that way too. The flowers are going to be super colorful, so I don't really need it to compete too much. And the dark Smoky Slate will work for the tire. And my handle too, where the highlighted part is. And then let's just check out my extra ivory and see. Yeah, it's pretty close. It was a little faded, the one that I was using. It was kind of wearing out. All right, that is good. The flowers. Yellow and orange and green. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I am so glad not to see any little snow flurries. Oh, brother. Yesterday, I kept looking out the window and as I was working and seeing these snow flurries and just thinking, come on, you've got to be kidding me. Now, one of my favorite greens that I keep going back to is soft succulent. Now, it's pretty close to Lost Lagoon, but I think I'm going to get out Shy Shamrock this time. And let's get this going. It's a bit blue, but I'm going to live with it. So I kind of want soft. We haven't had soft succulent for some time, and I am so slow to get with the new things. And then I'm going to try to do a light old olive on top of that, just to get a little variation of color in there. Normally I would probably use a Copic pen, but that actually looks pretty good. If you don't think it's not light enough and you want it to be lighter, you can always use, I oftentimes used soft sea foam and just wash away, you know, some of that ink with that, or the color lifter, or even a white gel pen will work. All right, now we need orange. Actually, you know, pumpkin pie is a nice color, but it's not orange enough for me. I kind of like orange. Let me check out the light pumpkin pie, see if I'm gonna, it's okay. Light pumpkin pie is better than dark. Dark sometimes looks a little muddy. These are gonna look less like dahlias with that center, but that's okay, we can live with that. And then Daffodil Delight. Now even white is not bad. I'm not gonna do, this is pretty dark, so I'm gonna do just this little bit, and then let's get Lemon Lolly out for the remainder, because this is a little dark and I missed this center. We'll just do it with this color. It'll be fine. Lemon Lolly. I love Lemon Lolly. It's so pretty. So glad they did Lemon Lolly as a normal, regular color. It's perfect. Oops, I missed a leaf. I'll have to get that. Okay, there's our little flowers. They're so sunny looking. This is so nice on a cold winter day like today. I love doing flowers makes me happy. You can see some flowers, even if they are fake ones, in my little card. Better than nothing. Okay. Now we're ready to cut. All right, so I'm gonna go like this and save this piece for a later time. I'm gonna just bring this over here and we can cut out all of these little pieces with our dies. So where's the heart die, huh? Thought for sure there would be one. There's not. What a laugh. You've got to be kidding me. No heart die? Well. So we've got our flowers, right? Am I looking at the wrong set? No, this is the right set. Where are the flowers? Oh, there they are. Whew, scared me. They are here. So we'll cut the flowers out. I have bought so many stamp sets with dies, thinking the dies cut every image out. And then as I go to do it, thinking, what? Where's this image? Why isn't it here? It's pretty obvious that one should be here. Why isn't it? And then it isn't. And it's like, oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding. I wouldn't have bought this if I'd known. And so that's why the heart one just seemed like so obvious. So I saw a bunch of things and just assumed it was in here. Oh, well. So now we'll do the wheels, and they did give us 2 wheels. Now my magnets don't interact well together, so I often can't put them side by side like that, but we'll give it a go and see if it will work. And it did. Pretty close. Close enough. There's a lot of white around those wheels, and I may correct that as we go. We'll see. And then the wagon. Now you do have to admit, cutting each and every one of these pieces out would be very, very tedious. And so it's quite nice to have these dies. You can do all kinds of things with these dies. They're so nice to have for making some really nice cards. Okay, out of the way. Uh-oh, I didn't place it quite right, but that's okay. It'll be close enough. I'll just have to trim this side a little bit. There was a time, like for 1 year, maybe 2, that I'm aware of. I didn't buy the dies right away. I held off because I didn't want the expense, until I just couldn't stand it anymore. And then once I started on the dies, I was hooked. And 1 year though, they made these dies to fit almost exactly the image, which is not good because I need a little bit of give, especially with a little teeny tiny one like this. This is a very skinny little handle, and my magnet is acting up here. Let me actually trim this a little so that I can be a little more careful in placement. I might have to move this here in the center to really get a good magnet grip. There we go, that's better. And so if it fits the image perfectly, you think, oh good, this is gonna look great. And it is great if you can get it perfectly, if you can get it perfectly placed, but man, that's pretty tough to do. And then like you just saw, one little shift in my magnet suddenly has taken it off in another direction. Now the plates that Stampin' Up! Sells this machine with are not magnetized, and you can tape these down, but I just prefer to use the magnet. All right, so we are gonna end up finding a die punch or something that'll fit with these hearts. But I do want to find a nice label punch for this. So let's peek at my skinny labels. My long skinny labels, and see what we've got. Oh, this one's nice. It's like like a banner, so we'll use that one. Okey-doke. And the hearts, I'll work on that in a bit. All right. Put that away. These are, I took all of my labels out of the stamp cases that they were in so that I could actually use them, find them and use them quickly while working on things. So that's why it looks like that. You know, those trees, they still kind of look wintry to me. I'm not sure that I'm going to like this, but we will see. So what I want to do is to get, I think I'm going to get a pumpkin pie background, and that might help. I need some ground, which is why I use these trees, because it came with ground, but I need some ground. The wagon cannot just sit here floating in the sky. So I'm gonna figure that out. I don't want to lose my wheels or the handle or the label or the flowers. I do think I want to cut my, I think we'll cut some pumpkin pie for the background. So let's cut, this is 5 1/2 already, and we'll cut it at 4 1/4. And then that can be my background, so I can see if I like it, because I'm not sure that I do. I don't really think I like orange on that background. Maybe peach pie or something will look better. Let's shove that in there. This is gonna go up here, and we're gonna have, yeah, I don't know about the, let's try peach pie. Peach pie is a nice orange, but it's a softer spring type color rather than that bright fall looking orange. So yes, that's much better. So we'll go with 4 1/4 on that. Peach pie. And it's a great name, peach pie. I love peach pie. Peach pie is pretty good. Okay, so that'll be the background. Yes, I quite like that. That's nice. Now for some ground. Okay, we could find probably all kinds of DSP that would have a nice ground, but I oftentimes just prefer to create my own. But we cannot get one out ahead of time. So let me see what we've got. I see some things that might work. Let's see. Not a lot. Let's see. I should have looked ahead of time. See what we have. We can use for ground. Huh. Yeah, I'm just not seeing anything right off the top of my head. Pumpkin patch. All right, so we've got our old pumpkin patch from fall. There's a nice piece of ground there. There's our old Your Path Awaits, but that's not going to be the right dimensions. So let's try my scrap, and we'll see what we can do with this. That's not going to quite cut it. It's not big enough. And what I'm gonna end up having to do is hunt down some DSP. It's already done for you. There's always, scenery to be had in it. And I know we've got all kinds. I'm just not really sure where it all is right now. I've kind of lost track of many things. So I'm going to get this old one out. This is our old New Horizons one. And I suspect there will be something in here that I can use. Just because it's... I can create a nice ground with it because I just need it to be green. I don't want sky particularly. Not really. Horizon's fine, but I kind of need it to be a little closer than that. Let's see, that maybe. Okay, I'm going to hang on to that one. That's a possibility. I need to find our current DSP. We've got some really good ones that would work right now. I don't know where they are. If I did, it'd be set. Because there's even a flower one, I believe, in that current one. This would work too. I'd have to stamp it. Okay, okay, I'm still trying to think. My brain is ticking. Trying to think, where in the world are you? Oh, there you are. Yay, I think I see you. I do. Fabulous. Okay, this is our thoughtful journey. Now, this is actually in the catalog still. So we've got all of these kinds of things where the ground is already done. You're just going to cut what you want. These trees work quite nicely. All right, so any of this would work. If this wasn't so hard to cut, I would do that. But I just need a portion. I don't need a lot. I'm gonna cut here, and then I'm gonna see how high do we need. Yeah, it's actually gonna work pretty good. So I'm gonna take this piece and trim it neatly now that I know that that's about where I want it. I'm gonna trim that bottom off. And then we know this is gonna be a 4-inch wide piece. So that actually works pretty well right like that. Oh, I forgot, it's actually 5.5, but this is gonna work. I might want to use this as well, and then I'll just layer it. I think that is what I'm going to do. So I'm gonna cut. I do have to cut around the tree some, just to make sure that my pool party is the sky. I don't want any of this nice balmy seaside looking, you know, misty moonlight type blue, whatever it is. I don't really want that as my sky. Okay, so there's one tree. We're gonna go ahead and cut this little blade of grass there. You can be pretty careless in the cutting. It'll be fine. This is a nice forgiving landscape background. So you can see I'm not trying to be careful, and it's pretty sloppy, but it's gonna look just fine. Oh, that's gonna actually be right against the edge. So we've got this here, and then we're gonna put this like here, and then our wagon is gonna go right on top. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. This is the kind of building up that I like, where some of it's already done for you. It does make it a lot easier. So let's just put some dimensionals on this piece. I'm going to take this strip right here and lay that down there. Oops. Okay. Our daughter sent this adorable picture, and I hope she doesn't mind that I put it in my newsletter, because it's Oh, she's so cute. One of our granddaughters, she's so cute. Well, they all are. They're all so cute. But the as you know, your granddaughters are too. I mean, that's just the life. But it's not even their dog. It's their friend's dog that they kind of took in, and that dog is just looking at our granddaughter, just adoringly, and it's absolutely cute. Well, actually looking at her pajamas adoringly, because Mary said, yeah, the dog just really liked the pajamas. I was thinking, stupid dog. That's exactly like a dog, you know, but it's a really cute picture. It looks more heartwarming, I guess, than the reality. Isn't that the case with a lot of... Oops, I did it the wrong way, didn't I? No, that is correct. Okay. I want glue on this side, so it just goes there. Let's wipe some of that glue onto that. And then the dimensional side is over there. Oops, did I take the backing off? I didn't. There, okay. So now that's that. Now we get the wagon on here. And let me trim my little mess that I made. I do want those wheels to be like right up against, so and I kind of sloppily cut it too. So I'm gonna put the wagon here. I'm gonna move my wagon because I want the wheels to be covering my spot here. So I'm gonna put the wagon there. Like right. Let's put it right here. And then, okay, you can be more careful in how you cut the wheel, but it's still going to leave this white void, and I just don't like it. So I usually cut that off. All right, now this wagon, we're going to put a dimensional on the middle section right here. And then we're gonna glue the rest so that it's resting on there. I don't want too much height going on. It gets to be a problem in my mail. I don't know why they cannot mail things as well as they used to, but they don't. And then you can put your wheels on dimensionals or not. You know, it's just really up to you. I'm going to just glue these, but dimensionals would look fine too. Okay, very cute. See, these look backwards or something. I don't know. I'm gonna switch them because I think this one's bigger than that one. I don't know. Is it my eyes or what? I don't know. And then the handle. Now the handle definitely has to be glued. I'm not doing little pieces of dimension on that. The handle actually has this nice little tab so it can slide right under here. Okay. And then this has got to be tucked in and under, but I don't want that much tucked in and under. I'm going to trim a bunch of that away. All right, getting done, almost done. Isn't this cute? Well, hi, Freddie. It's nice to see you. How are you doing? I hope it's warmer where you are because it's like super cold here. But today is the last day. It's supposed to be super cold. It's supposed to be nicer tomorrow. Okay, there's your little spring flowers. So cute. I'm glad to see, I did see a comment, but Freddie's my friend, so I still am suspecting that I wouldn't be able to see anybody unless you were my friend. Facebook has not been kind to non-friends, which is probably a good thing. But my page is actually a public page, so it shouldn't have any effect, but oh well. All right, so now you're just gluing this on here and pressing it good so that your embossed background is gonna stay nice and flat. And then our little label goes right up there. It's so cute. I love this. This is turning out to be a very nice spring card. I wasn't sure with all of my messiness whether it would, and I'm glad to see it's turning out very nice. Very springy. And it sure does not look the spring outside, but I don't want it to right now. We've got quite a bit of weather to come. And boy, nothing worse than having your lilacs and things start to sprout when you know there's still lots of winter to go. All right, now for those little hearts, because we can't have you make my heart bloom without some hearts. So let's just see if I know I have a bunch of heart punches and things. I know I do. Let me look really quick and see what I've got for hearts. I know I have some big hearts. Let's see if I've got little hearts. I know I have little heart dies. I might have enough dies that would work. Let me peek back here. I have so many heart dies. But it's going to work. And I have no idea what set this came with. Now this is looking like it has petals and things. What a nice little banner. Isn't that cute? This is the sort of thing I need to put in my label thing. But these aren't exactly the same size. They're close, very close. So we're gonna do these. And then that way, I mean, you can cut out. It's just that it's tedious. And it's not as smooth as my little die would be. So there you go. There's one. That took me quite a bit, and it's not very neat and tidy. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this. I only need about 3. Let's get this one. It's a better one. And then we will use this die. Like this. All right. Now it is very small compared, but I think it's going to work. Let's see. Let's just see how it looks. If I'd stamped it in a row, I would have been able to just stamp them all right out. Look at you. You look perfect. So much better than me cutting. Let's do this. I'm going to go like this. Oh. Grab that. So let me put one here like this. And one under here like this so that we can cut these two out in one go. All right. So glad that did not go on my toe. So glad. That would have really hurt. That would have been bad. I think I do that every week, don't I? I think so. I think at some point every week I drop that on the floor. My big magnetic plate. All right, so now let me clean up my trash because it's just driving me nuts. All these little pieces all over the place. Did I get a heart in there accidentally? I did. All right. There's one. All right, so now we've got some pretty good little hearts. They're pretty cute. And that and there. And another little one. Like right here. Oh, you're so cute. Very nice. All right, and that is about it. I'm going to put this on a backing of a basic card frame. I mean, what do we call that? A base card. A base card, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I think I have one right here. And then we're done. So cute. Perfect. I do need to trim that one side. All right. What do you think? Isn't that sweet? Now you could do a little tie of some kind somewhere. I'm always doing a little tie after I look at things and I think, oh, a little tie, a little bow, but you don't have to. And it still is gonna look good. I must have cut my card base just a tiny bit crooked. All right, there we go. Isn't that sweet? Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and like and share everything. That's always appreciated too. You can stop by my webpage and say hi. And you can always stop at YouTube and say hi, whatever. And have a wonderful week. We already have, what do we have? It's not the half of January. In fact, January just started. So again, celebration going on. You can join my team. You can join Stampin' Up! Anywhere. Get the starter kit. It's a pretty good deal. This actually is a really good deal. The starter kit is a great deal. It's just that there are 2 options. So it's a little confusing. If you want the cash for stamps that you choose the second option. And then there's a first option, which I think they're markers. You get all kinds of markers. Now, we're talking markers, not Stampin' Blends. So these that you saw me use today, these are the Stampin' Blends. They're alcohol ink pens, and they blend together very nicely. They come in pairs, a dark and a light, because they blend together. So you get 2 colors. These are the markers. They are watercolor ones, and so water will, thin it out, but they're not water. You don't use water with them. They're just markers, and but they're quite nice. It's just that they're hard to color with. They're good for writing, but not necessarily so good for coloring. So anyhow, but it's like several packs of those, so you can choose that. And if you want the most product for the stamp kit, then that would be the first option you would choose, because those are just worth a lot more, I think, than whatever that you choose your own products for the stamp kit is. So anyway, that special is going to the end of February, so you'll want to take advantage of it well before the end of February, and who knows, it's possible they might run short of some of their markers if people are taking advantage of that option a lot. So just to be on the safe side, if you want markers, then I would be joining by the 1st of February, not the last, just to be careful. And I think that's it. I will see you next week. Have a lovely day. Bye.